White Rocket Entertainment, podcast number 926. 3 non-conference foes are down, and now we, at long last, head into SEC play. That's next. And the AU Wishbone is next. From Southern Illinois and Eastern Virginia, it's the AU Wishbone Podcast. John, how are you tonight?
I'm well, Van. How are you?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm 3-0, and so are you, and most of our listeners and YouTube watchers. So I'm feeling pretty good. We need to quantify it immediately. Quantify. It is the AU Wishbone Fun Meter, the Auburn Fun Meter, our weekly look at how much fun it is to be an Auburn fan right now. And I got to say, I'm going to lead off, John. It's a lot of fun to be an Auburn fan right now because I bought now that we're on YouTube every week, we made the move to video. I got a sign over there from like 8 years ago when we did it the first time and then decided, screw this, but now we're back. When we decided to make the move to YouTube every week, I bought a YouTube wardrobe. I got my thick blue 9-time national champion hoodie for when it gets cold in a few weeks. But right now, I got the glorious Nike Auburn Tigers orange hoodie, the thin
Nice.
Auburn hoodie. I love it. I love it. And we're so excited around here about being 3-0 and getting ready to start SEC play that the real star of the show, for whom we are but the second bananas, Boris has his helmet on and ready to put it to go in. Boris is ready to go in the game. Put me in, coach. He says, I'm ready to play. All right. So, where is your Auburn Fun Meter tonight, John?
I think it's about an 8.5. I mean, it's good.
What?
I enjoyed it. I like beating South Alabama, but it's got more serious now.
It's about to get straight up serious. It is about to. I mean, we could be 4-0 and have enormous confidence heading into those 2 games that follow Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
We could end that stretch 3-3. It could go either way. We don't know. But it's that tension. It's that not knowing and what's possible, right? It's the possibility that pulls us in.
That's right. And that's why I'm 8.5, because it was more fun to be an Auburn fan last week where we weren't facing down this trip to Norman. It was like, hey, I feel pretty good about that South Alabama game. They're going to win another one. And now we're like, ooh, it gets real.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'll go with 8.5 too. That's a decent number for what I'm thinking. Let's talk about it. So first up on the agenda, we're going to look at Oklahoma, and that'll be interesting, I think, certainly, and very informative. By the way, I have a friend or two in Oklahoma that are big Sooners fans. They were asking me today, are you coming or not? I'm like, we just couldn't make it happen. You got other obligations. I got other obligations. And Oklahoma was just a bridge too far. Certainly for you, that's a long way. For me, it was a way, but for you, it's a long, long way. So we're just not going to make it happen this time. But I, John, would like for us to pencil in 4 years from now, we'll try it again. May not work out.
Yeah, man.
May not work out. But let's pencil it in that we'll try to do it because, 2 years from now, theoretically, Auburn will go to Austin. And I've never been to Austin. So I am 100% planning to go to that game.
Yep.
I want to go to the Naval War of the Pacific, World War II Pacific War Museum. I want to go see the Formula One track. I want to go to the game in Austin. And I want to go to Robert E. Howard's house. Now, those are probably 9 hours apart because Texas is big and I'm just dumb. But I'm going to try
I'm a simpler human being. I'd like to eat some good tacos and barbecue.
I'm there too. Yeah. Hey, if Daniel Ricciardo of Formula One liked it that much, how bad can it be, right? He's a huge Texan from Australia. So, all right. Well, South Alabama, 31-15. I think the game was not as close as the score indicated. They did beat us 6-3 in the second half, so we just kind of folded up the offense and put it in the storage locker pretty much at halftime. It seemed like, but I don't know. What are your initial thoughts? Well, I'm going to look up the box score because I haven't really looked at the actual player numbers yet. So go ahead.
So you hit on some of it. First half really good. Second half defense in particular not so good. And offense kind of went into run the clock out mode. Running game overall and the offense overall efficient. We played a lot of young guys again. I think there was a strategic decision. We had guys injured. Yes. We had more guys injured during the game, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And then, so there was a strategic decision. We want to play with these young guys to get them ready for these games coming up because we're going to need them. Mm-hmm. And we want them to get some more reps. And so then also, like, we want to win the game and not take chances. So we're going to just run the ball and shorten the game. And we did that. So I think that was,
definitely.
John,
that was as make the game short of a game as I've ever seen. Could tell that when we had the ball, not the first drive, but almost every other drive, like the first drive was us saying, let's go down the field and score. And we did. Every other drive pretty much in that game was Auburn saying, let's make this last 12 minutes. In fact, I think we had 7 possessions and we scored on 5 of them. And then we took a knee.
That's right.
Other than that, we were just running that clock out. And in fact, we're going to get to it, but there was a statistic about that we'll get to in just a minute. Crazy statistic about that.
So that made the game closer, more comfortable that we wanted instead of going for the knockout punch and, being up 20 or whatever. And I think that kind of played it that way. But I also think offensively, I think we played it pretty vanilla, and defensively, we played a lot of guys. So I think that led to the game being closer. And I'm going to give some credit to South Alabama. I think their offense is not bad. They're not terrible. So I think
we talked about that last week. I told you I watched the Tulane South Alabama game last week. Yeah. Tulane came out Saturday and showed they were a good team. Tulane is a good team.
Yeah, they are a good team.
And they beat South Alabama in Tulane by like 1 point.
Yeah.
So, and South Alabama's quarterback particularly, he's for real. I put in the notes, but I'll mention it now. I mean, he's going to be in the portal. I guarantee you he'll be a portal guy, and he's going to be playing for somebody bigger than South Alabama next year. He's a good athlete and a good quarterback, and he can make some good throws. And you put a little better offensive line and some little better pieces around him, give him a running back that can do something, he's going to be awesome. I like him a lot. Davenport. Yeah, I like him a lot.
He was solid.
Yeah. So, I'm looking at our box score real quick. Let me just run through it for you. Jackson Arnold, 13 for 24, 142 yards, 1 touchdown. Still no interceptions, knock on wood. He is defying last year's.
That's huge, gigantic. But also 30 for 24 had 3 or 4 drops in there.
Yeah.
And at least 1 throwaway.
Jeremiah Cobb, 19 carries, 119 yards. I don't think anybody had Jeremiah Cobb getting 19 carries in this game. That was not good. But today, it's like inflation. Today's 19 is yesterday's 30 carries. You know what I mean? That would have been in the I formation or the wishbone. That would have been 30-something carries, 19.
Yes.
For 119, 1 touchdown, but only a long of 15. So Cobb is very reliable and dependable, but he's not a breakaway threat so far. He hadn't ripped one out.
He had a couple of longer ones last week, but that was that terrible Ball State team.
Yeah.
But I think this is something we're seeing with the offense is efficiency in the run game. A lot of 5, 6, 8-yard runs, but not a lot of 60-yard runs potentially. So,
right. Yeah, there's no Bo and Brent Fullwood out there, but they're banging away like a Trey Mason kind of a deal. All right, Jackson Arnold, 10 carries for 50 yards and 2 touchdowns, long of 9. Again, I don't think we wanted Jackson Arnold getting 10 carries in this game. but part of it was that works really. It's still our best weapon.
Well,
honestly, the best offensive weapon we've shown in 3 games is Jackson Arnold running the ball.
That's right. 3rd and short, 4th and short, goal line. It's a difference maker.
He executes a really good fake handoff or there's a fine line between fake handoff and run, or versus like an option, pull it back, zone read. I mean, there's a fine line there.
Mm-hmm.
And we never did know how many of those were Gus telling Nick Marshall zone read versus Gus telling Nick Marshall, pretend you're handing it to Trey and then run, right? It could have been either one. But anyway, so 10 carries for 50 yards. Again, I don't think we wanted either one of them getting I don't think we wanted the 2 of them getting 29 carries in this game, but there you are. And part of it, again, was that Darrell Robinson was out. And, Mabson did play. Omar Bradley Mabson did play some.
Mm-hmm.
Singleton, 3 carries for 15 yards, long of 8. I mean, they really are making Singleton as a runner a weapon.
And this was the Singleton game, I think. Like he ran and he caught multiple passes. He had those passes where he
had 9 touches,
9 catches over the middle, where he went out in the middle and he kind of found the soft spot in the zone a couple times. I mean, that was 9, very effective.
9 touches. He had 3 rushes and 6 catches. But you're exactly right. He was down. He was over the middle, and you could tell again. You know where I'm going.
We had a listener email about this. Keep going.
Jackson Arnold does not look to Cobb over to his left or right. He looks for Singleton down the middle. That's potentially setting something up, or it's potentially playing right into Oklahoma's hands. We will see which way that goes. Mabson, 5 carries for 13 yards. So he didn't have a great day, but not a bad one. Just, he averaged 5 into 13, 5, 10, less than 3 yards a carry. Okay, receiving quickly, Singleton 6 for 65, Cam Coleman 2 for 49, Fields 2 for 20, and then Mabson 1 for 7. So Mabson did catch a pass. Perry Thompson 1 for 4. I worry that Perry Thompson is just being ignored in the offense, and is just, I mean, if he leaves, well, what is he taking away, to be fair, at this point? But I'd like to see him incorporated more.
Agree.
And then Bryce Kane got a catch, although a -3, but he did. I was going to say that they're using Singleton as almost the Ricardo Lewis of this offense, or the Corey Grant, or the Ontario McCaleb. You know what I mean? The sweep guy, the jet sweep guy.
He's definitely the sweep weapon that scares the defense.
That's the numbers I wanted to look at. Yeah, absolutely. That's the numbers I want to look at. So have at it.
I want to talk about the injuries first before we get into other stuff. Again, Champ Anthony sat out, injuries, probably back this week. Damari Alston sat out, probably back this week. Singleton banged up, potentially hip pointer. We think he'll be okay. Jay Crawford went knee to knee, banged his knee with somebody. We hope he's back an okay, fine Saturday. Rayshawn Pleasant sat out, unknown. Didn't return kicks or play defense. Malcolm Simmons, didn't play. Morris Williams, shoulder separation, and they did that thing where they banged it back into place, which is painful to think about. And he, I think he's questionable for Saturday, and we need him. And he's been really good so far. But I think that's a bunch of guys who would have played, especially the defensive guys, who I think would have made a difference, and Alston too. So to build on what you're talking about on the box score, I think the offensive line had a good game to allow that much rushing and kind of ball control for us to move up and down the field. I think we didn't have the sacks and tackles for losses and offensive penalties and stuff. I think that was big. So, and then you have something here about this long drive.
Yeah, well, I was just going to add to the injury thing. It's just amazing to me how many players we've had hurt this season playing Baylor, Ball State, and South Alabama, man. I mean, that's the second time that Singleton's gotten hurt, like in the leg. And then all those others. I mean, surely Damari Alston will be back for Oklahoma.
I think several of those guys would have played if this had been Oklahoma, but they were like, we don't need to do it. We want them 100%.
In fact, that's probably why Perry Thompson got a catch, was that Malcolm Simmons wasn't playing.
That's right.
Honestly, which is maybe a good thing. Let's see where. I mentioned the. Where are we? Okay. The drive in the second half, probably somewhere in the middle of the fourth quarter, I think it was, where we were just eating up the clock.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't even get to the end zone. We ended up with McPherson kicking a 35-yard field goal. So we got to like the 18 or something. That I don't remember the exact statistic. I tried to type it up, and as it got halfway through writing it and realized I wasn't sure, but it was something like that tied the record for the most time-consuming drive in like the last 50 years, and it was just a few seconds short of being the all-time. Like if they'd scored a touchdown on that drive, it would have been easily the longest time-consuming drive. And I mean, that's including the game with Tuberville against South Carolina, where we had the ball the entire third quarter. It was longer than that. Well, that was 2 drives, but you know what I mean. So
that I'm looking at the box score. That drive was 8 minutes and 34 seconds of possession by itself,
and didn't even end in the end zone. It ended with a kick. That's crazy. So that's over half a quarter. Well over half the quarter. Yeah. Again, that's time we could have been scoring multiple times, but we were just eating up the clock and shortening the game.
That's right.
And that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I'm not worried about that at all.
But it's also, it's not just like we're, sitting on the ball and running the clock out. We need to be able to run the ball and put teams away and win games that way without messing up, without turning over, committing penalties. It's a learned winning games, and, putting teams away is kind of a learned behavior thing. And we did that. Like, we were like, we're holding you at arm's length. We're not going to let you get within 2 scores. We're going to run the clock out, and you're going to have no chance here.
Well, and here's the big change from the last 2 years. The last 2 years, other teams did that to us. Remember how Freeze was going crazy because we just didn't have many possessions?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We would, and that's, it's when you have 7 possessions and you score on 5 of them, that's not so bad. When you have 7 possessions and like 4 of them end on interceptions, that's very bad. And that's what we were doing. That's what we were doing, especially last year, was having games where we just didn't have the ball enough. Right? The time-consuming thing doesn't work if you turn the ball over.
You got to take advantage of the possessions you have, and we've been doing that.
Yes. They need to end in points, because otherwise you're shortening the game on yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Which we did against Cal and Arkansas and other teams along the road. So yeah. All right. We got to talk about Jackson Arnold and where he's choosing to go with the ball and where he's not choosing to go. And I hear a lot of people complaining that he's not choosing to go downfield, and that's fine. I agree. But he's also not choosing to go to his dump off running back, as I've complained before, and that's worrying me too.
But we have a listener email about this, so I'm going to just wait on that one.
All
but
right. Fair enough.
I think the not going downfield thing is tied to the no interceptions thing. I mean, I think Arnold has been very careful with the football so far, and we may not be able to continue to do that. We'll talk about that in the Oklahoma game, but so far he has not had to force it, and therefore he has not.
And you know what? Let me go ahead and make a prophecy for you now. Nostraboris has a prophecy for you. Nostraboris. Nostraboris's prophecy is that there's going to come a game, I'm afraid, or he's afraid, where we have to go downfield more, and there's going to be interceptions, and people are going to say, "Oh, he's last year's quarterback. I've already filed him away." Peyton Thorne again. He's Peyton Thorne 2.0. Here we go. And it's not going to be. It's going to be because we're trying to do that. So I'm with you. As long as we don't have to do that, I'm fine with not doing it. But I do feel like there's going to come a time we need to, and we kind of need to practice it a little bit.
Well, because also there's going to be games where we're engaged with other teams whose offenses are scoring a bunch of points.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to be able to put the foot on the gas and make it go. We're not going to be able to do this, run the ball, limit the number of possessions. The other teams roll it up and down the field scoring touchdowns. We got to be able to make it happen.
We look like one of Pat Dye's early Auburn teams, right, where we're running the ball, running the clock, ball possession, no turnover, and that's fine as far as it goes.
That's fine until you play Spurrier.
Yes. Oh, yeah. When a Wishbone team would play Spurrier's Florida, or before that, a Miami team, right? Mm-hmm. Like a Wishbone, Oklahoma. Wishbone, Oklahoma would run over everybody, run roughshod, and then they'd play Miami and get killed every time because of exactly that. So, yeah, we don't need to be a Wishbone team as much as you and I would like that. We, in this day and age, we got to be
but I think,
flexible.
We talked about it a lot last year. We don't need to be like there's the Muppet who throws the bombs on the Mad Bomber. And we don't need to be that on offense, the bad bomber who bombs at midnight. We need to be more precise and in control. And we've been very efficient this year. We need to be a little more explosive, but we also need to not be recklessly explosive.
Yeah, no, exactly. There's a fine line there. I may have the name of the show, in fact, this is a fine line. But all right, talk about the defense.
Well, I mean, this is a little flashback to last year. Too many third down conversions by the opponent. I think early on, we did okay, but in the second half, there were some long drives where they kept converting third and fourth downs, and it made you want to throw stuff. And some of them were too easy. Where we allowed guys wide open in the flat and they're getting 5 yards, and that's like, come on, man. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how much of it is we were playing like 25 guys on defense?
Some of it was that. And some of it was new guys, young guys. We played a lot of guys on defense. I think that was absolutely part of it, right? Some of it was also, as you said, the South Alabama quarterback made some plays.
He did.
But some of it was also, our guys not doing the right thing, not knowing where their buddy was going to be or trusting them or whatever. And that's stuff we got to clean up. I think that matters, but I also think we're missing 3 or 4 guys that would have played in the secondary and made a difference there. And that's not the same as having all your guys. But I also think they've shown a tendency to play these true freshmen, and they played a bunch of them Saturday to get them ready to play an SEC play.
And one thing that Freeze noted in his press conference, I believe today, was he says the young guys particularly, they get down on themselves when they mess up, which causes them to mess up the next play. He's like, you got to be able to forget it and move on, put it behind you, don't worry about it, go on and do the next play, and don't try to be perfect. There you go. That's right. Thank you, Ted Lasso. That's right. And I do believe, by the way, I believe, but still nervous, still concerned, still a little bit concerned.
Special teams, I mean, I think they were good, but not great, right? We didn't have any giant mess ups. We had the penalty on the opening kickoff. We had Alex had a field goal. That was encouraging.
Feel like getting a little stronger. Would have been good from like 45, they said.
We had one punt return go over a guy's head, but I mean, overall, the special teams were solid. That was a better game for them, but they weren't awesome.
Is this Alex McPherson's 4th year on the team, and he's missed 2 field goals?
Yeah.
That's incredible. Because he went perfect 1 year.
Yes.
And he missed 2 the year before that, and then last year he didn't really get to kick, and then there's this year. It's incredible.
So, he's pretty good. I mean, there's scenarios where we get into a game, we have to kick a long field goal, or there's an opportunity to kick a long field goal, and then what are we going to do?
It's funny. And my Oklahoma buddy was texting me. He's like, what do you think is going to happen? It's a big game. And I said, we have some concerns. I said, our running backs are all hurt pretty much except for one, which is true. And I said, our receivers all got hurt this week. Our defensive backs all got hurt this week. And I said, there's also the fact that our kicker is missing his internal organs. It sounds crazy, but it's true. I'm like, he doesn't have his large intestine. I mean, God bless him. I have like 80% of mine, but he said, screw it. Take the whole thing out, man. I don't need it. We've talked
about this multiple times in our house. If there was ever like a bad snap or something and somebody the other team hit Alex McPherson, I think there'd be a brawl. Like I think the Auburn sideline would absolutely come off and come after that guy.
Yes. I'd drive to the stadium to join in before it's over. No, if I saw Alex get hit, I would just get in the fetal position on the floor of my living room.
That's it.
I just wouldn't want to. I don't even want to know. Ugh, God. Yeah, I had my thing it's 6 years ago now, and I still don't think I'd want to go out and play football. I'm still kind of like, all right. So Oklahoma, John, the Oklahoma sooner or later's, we go to their house. We go to Norman. The SEC of all people tweeted out, you don't come into Norman, Oklahoma, into their house and win. And I tweeted that back out and said, unless you're Baylor or Kansas State there was like 4 teams that beat them in the last 2 years there. And I'm like, so other than those, no, you don't. That's true. Plus the fact that they don't play everybody there. They also play the Red River Shootout in wherever, Texas, Dallas or something.
Dallas. That's fair. Saturday.
You know what? I'm going to treat us Oklahoma, SEC here.
Come on, man.
Yeah, that's a little deceptive practice right there.
So it is Saturday in Norman, Oklahoma, 3:30 Eastern on ABC. So
3:30 Eastern, 2:30 normal time, right in the middle of the day. ABC. It's weird to be on ABC at 2:30. We need Vern and Gary, right? Or Nestler and Gary. Yeah. So who are the announcers on ABC doing the 2:30 game now? I don't even know.
I don't have any freaking idea.
I don't even know. I'm gonna greet them with surprise when we tune in on Saturday.
I think they rotated around. All right, how good is Oklahoma? I think they're pretty good, very good. I think they're way better than they were.
Good. Pretty good. That's pretty good.
They're good. 7th in SP Plus, the advanced stats. They're 21st on offense, 5th on defense, 42nd on special teams. Their defense is really good. Now, again, they've played, Temple and another cupcake and Michigan. And Michigan is, solid, but not awesome. And they're starting a true freshman quarterback. And I don't think Michigan has any skill position guys that I would want to transfer to Auburn tomorrow. So other than they have a running back that came from Alabama, but I don't think he's Justice Haynes. I don't think he's a big difference between him and what we got on our team now. So I think, their defense is very good. Their offense is obviously way better.
This better than ours or better than it was last year?
Mean better than it was? Infinitely better than it was last year. I mean, they replaced the offensive coordinator, most of the offensive line, the receivers, the quarterback, and the running backs. Okay, so like they just, it was like one of those home renovations where they didn't just like put in a new sink or anything. They just like gutted the thing and tore it out.
Burned the house to the ground.
I mean, they left the walls are the same, maybe the bedroom's the same, but the kitchen and the living room are all different and the deck's different or whatever. So, the other big thing you got to prepare yourself for now is the Jackson Arnold returns to Oklahoma story. That is going to get beaten to death in this game.
That'll be a bigger story, I think, for Oklahoma than it will for us.
It will, but I think if he does not play well, part of the narrative will be A, he couldn't handle that coming home thing, and B, Venables and them knew him and knew his tendencies well and used it against him,
Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing.
But if we go into Norman and we play really well and we knock them off, then Norman,
it will burn very brightly.
Oh yes.
All right.
Very brightly.
The Oklahoma offense against our defense, again, they brought in this new offensive coordinator, Arbuckle, from Washington State, and they brought in the new quarterback with him, John Mateer. He is a very, very good runner. He's a good passer, but he's a really good runner. When he's scrambling and running around, you're going to get some, little miniature flashbacks of like Johnny Manziel running around. He's that kind of runner.
Oh, boy.
And I think he's the kind of runner that, when you rush out of control, he will make you pay. And I think sometimes he'd rather run than throw the ball, really.
Mm-hmm.
So in this kind of game, he's going to be looking to make plays with his feet. We really, we used Riddick some against some of these running quarterbacks last year. I think he and Xavier Atkins, we're going to need them to spy Mateer, keep in front of him and limit his running. And against Michigan, he ran for 70 yards and 2 touchdowns. So we need to stay in front of him and limit that. And we can limit that and force him to throw in third, in longs and third and longs and stuff. I think that'll be a big difference. Their new receiver that's really good is Deion Burks. He transferred from Purdue, where he was one of the better receivers in the Big Ten last year, and he's good. Our pass defense could play better, and he would still be a problem. So I worry about that guy. I think he's going to make some plays against us. Michigan's defense is good. I don't think they're better than ours, and they held Oklahoma to like 3.4 yards per rush. I think we can do that. I think we can kind of hold down their running game. That running backs as a whole don't really scare me. And then the Jaden Ott guy they got from Cal is not playing. They're playing other running backs. He's getting
What's up with that?
I don't know if he's hurt or doesn't know the offense or something's going on. There's been some weird stuff. This is one of those. He was good at Cal. He didn't do a ton against us last year, but he's a good running back. But it's not working there, so I'm not sure what the hell is going on. But he's not. I don't think they're saving him for us. I just think it's not. He doesn't know the offense or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, Oklahoma was all we have Jaden Ott at running back, and we're kind of like,
how nice for you.
Don't make John spit everything out.
It's
while you're drinking, I almost went to this game because
I have friends everywhere,
which is fair, but
it's true.
But I just couldn't burn my life and sacrifice everything for it.
Speaking of which, the Auburn offense against the Oklahoma defense, this is it. Like we played Baylor, we played Ball State, we played South Alabama. Now we're going to play a really, really good defense, and we're going to see what our new offense and new quarterback can do against a good defense. And this is the stress point, I think, for us. Like, I think our defense will play solidly, right, and keep us around in the game. Can we score? Can we move the ball? Can we do it without making mistakes? And we don't know until we see it. But I think, there is spotlight on Arnold because of the Oklahoma thing, but we need him to run the ball in this game. You said it. That's been our secret weapon on offense this year. Yeah. And I think it creates stress for the defense. When we're running the ball with the running backs and he can throw it a little bit and he runs the ball, it really creates stress for them and opens up other things.
Yeah, that's my concern, though, is when your quarterback is doing that a lot, right? They're exposing himself to, wow, I just pronoun trouble. Anyway, he's exposing himself, which again is a whole other issue, to danger, right? And so it's like, you have this weapon that's the best weapon we've shown all year. But on the other hand, do we really want that to be the go-to thing every drive? I mean, kind of use it as sparingly as possible.
It's fair. You can't use it 50 times in a game, but we may have to have him run 20 times in this game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, ideally, see, ideally to me, what happens is Cobb and Damari are able to get some running room. They have to tighten up, and then we suddenly unveil the heretofore hidden but explosive deep passing game on them.
Yeah.
That's what I would really like to see. Now, I'm not sure you roll out the deep passing game against the best defense by far you've played all year, but
it's fair. And also, like, again, some of it is a choice thing. Oklahoma may feel like they can play our guys one-on-one and they don't need to keep two deep safeties back. They may bring one of those safeties up and say, we're taking the running game completely away. Take your chances. Yeah. And then then we're there, and it's going to be take your chances time. And I think that's a real scenario. I think they may try to do that and put more pressure in the backfield, put more pressure on Arnold. They kind of dare us to do that.
I have no doubt that Oklahoma on defense is going to come after Jackson Arnold. They do not want him to beat them.
That's right.
I think they'd be okay losing this game as long as it's not him going for 100 yards rushing and 200 yards passing on him.
That's right.
So I think for sure they're going to bring pressure, and he needs to get ready to dump the ball off to the running back, John. Again, we got an email, right? We got a listen question.
But also, in that scenario, can we protect him? Right? We've seen concerns about pass protection. This is something else that worries me. When they're coming after Arnold, can we give him time to make a throw or get out and make a little run? So I also, the other thing I think is this kind of game, we need our big time playmaker guys to make plays. Right. And so that means Singleton and Cam Coleman, we got to get them the ball and they got to make stuff happen. Literally like Cam Coleman single coverage. Great. Chuck it down there. Go for it. The
offense has been Jackson Arnold, Cobb, Singleton, Cam Coleman. Everybody else is peripheral to that. That has been the core of the offense. And Oklahoma knows that, and Brent Venables knows that. And he's going to do everything he can to limit and take away those four guys and see if we can beat them with anybody else.
And I think Alston was good against Baylor. I think he'll be good in this game. I think he could be physical and get a couple yards when we need it.
It'll be nice to be able to swap top-tier running backs in and out without having to have the same guy out there the whole time. That will be really nice. Yeah. That'll be really nice. And, when we go to Oklahoma, you know what I want to do? You know what I want to do there? What I want Auburn to do there?
Turn over their little wagon.
Your enemies, see them driven before you, and they hear the lamentation of their
Sooners. That is what is best in life, John. To crush the Sooners, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of the Oklahomans.
In the Lamentations department, one of their best defenders is suspended for the first half. One of their best defensive linemen, R. Mason.
Oh, that's right, for targeting.
He got called for targeting the second half against Temple. So that's big. One of their better guys is not going to play. So what do we think is going to happen? A lot of our fans are angsty over the pass coverage and how we're going to do in that.
Right.
I think it's an issue, but I think we're going to play better than people think probably. I think we're going to play a lot of our injured guys are going to come back and play. And I think I think our coverage will be better and not quite as bad as people expect it to be when we're playing all our guys. I think it's going to be a close game in the kind of mid-20s, 27-24, something like that.
I haven't got a feel for it. I have no, usually I can be right there with you on numbers. I don't have a feel for this game yet. Maybe during the week it'll come to me, but right now it could be 6-3. It could be 42-41. I don't have a feel for it because I don't have a feel for Oklahoma yet. And honestly, I'm not sure. I feel like they've hidden some stuff. I feel like they got some stuff put away.
Who you mean, Oklahoma or us?
Oh, us.
Well, I mean, again, we haven't had, as you pointed out, we haven't had to actually throw the football. So.
Right. No. I'm trying to think, was it Terry Bowden I heard the other day? I think it was Terry that said he used to have a whole set of plays at the beginning of the season that he kept locked away just for Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
He said they wouldn't run them all year, and they'd practice them every 2 or 3 weeks, but they wouldn't run them all in a game all year, and they'd roll them out against Alabama. And I'm like, for all that you might not like about Terry, or he might annoy you or whatever, he got it. You know what I mean? He got it. And I wonder if we got a few things put away for Oklahoma, because this is, Baylor was the biggest game of the season until we won it. And now this is the biggest game of the season until we win it. So, this is a huge game.
Yeah.
We could be 6-0. We could be 3-3. I mean, this is a watershed right here.
It is, but it's also you talked about uncertainty about either team. It's a measuring stick kind of game. Like, we think Oklahoma's good. We don't know they're good. They were bad last year, and their offense is clearly better. But are they really good? Or have they played 2 bad teams and a team with a true freshman quarterback, and they got to play them at home? So,
yeah. Well, here's the thing, too. That's right. Here's the thing, too. We're looking at Oklahoma going, oh, man, Oklahoma is a lot better than they were last year. Well, guess what? We're a lot better than we were last year.
That's true. We are.
Take it to the bank. We are.
That's
now,
true.
The question is, so if they were like this last year and we were this, well, the question is, has it gone like that or has it gone like that?
I think we were obviously pretty equal last year, given how that game went.
Yeah.
So.
Let's see. Yeah, the targeting thing, Mason Thomas, is interesting. So I really don't know. Like I said, we could be 3-3, we could be 4-0 after this game. We've already won more than half as many games as we won all last season.
It's true, and but also I think that matters, because I think one of the things that winning games is a habit, right? You learn, and it's a learned thing. Like, you learn to not make mistakes and to play football and execute the right way and be calm under pressure and stuff. And this team has kind of done that, right? They did it in the Baylor game. They did it these other 2 games. So, last year's team, what did they know? I mean, they made mistakes, bad things happened. And when they were, the game was on the line, bad things happened.
Bad things, man.
And they didn't expect for good things to happen and for the ball to bounce their way and stuff at a certain point.
Let me show you something. The barbecue spaketh, and I wroteth down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And for those on YouTube, you can see this in just a second when I show you, but let me just say this. You remember Freeze said our minimum goal this year basically was a bowl game.
Yeah.
We've got 3 wins. We still play Mercer, Arkansas, and Kentucky. Arkansas, if we're not doing well, Arkansas will be a tough game, but Kentucky and Mercer should be winnable. All right. That's a bowl game right there, theoretically. You're 6 wins, you're in a bowl. So we're already to the point that if we play to our minimum expectations, we have our bowl game. Beating Baylor pretty much, unless something goes horribly, horribly wrong, beating Baylor pretty much meant we're going to a bowl game. It's what would have happened last year if we'd beaten Cal, which we should have, right? Same thing. We'd have had 6 wins and been in a bowl game. But, of course, we want much more than that this year. I'm not out here saying, oh, goody, we're going to go to a bowl game, except I kind of am, because we didn't go to one last year. So I kind of would like to go to a bowl game. But we have much higher expectations. And how can I back that up? Here is what the barbecue told me to tell you. 10-2 or 9-3 is what I said.
Mm-hmm.
And we are on track for that now. We should have 6 wins wrapped up at this point. And then there's games like Oklahoma, games like Texas A&M, Georgia, Missouri, Alabama, Vanderbilt. I tell you right now, we're going to talk about, and I said in the show notes that this is the time of the year when Around the SEC gets a lot more fun. There are episodes in like May when we don't even bother with Around the SEC. Basketball's over, football hadn't started, right? Around the SEC gets fun this time of the year. We're going to get to that in just a few minutes. All right. One other note. Our wide receiver commit from Mississippi just got his 5th star and is the number 12 player in the country right now.
Jace Matthews.
Yes. He is a 5-star. We've got at least 2 5-stars in that class now, right? Depending on what service you look at.
That's right.
Even though we lost the one guy, and we may get some back. I was just thinking the other day, who we might get back is anybody that went to Florida, that committed to Florida. If you want to raid somebody's cupboard, I say go down to Gainesville and start throwing around your business card. Are you suffering from having committed to Florida? There's an answer to that problem. Could you just imagine? NIL representatives from SEC schools are in Gainesville right now, like lawyers in a hospital after there's been a big collision on the highway. You know what I mean? Every corner. Hey, have you heard about Arkansas? Let me tell you about the Hogs. Hey, do you know about Tennessee? So I hope we're down there in the mix for all the Florida people that are going to suddenly decommit in the next week or two. I'm imagining. All right. Anything else before we get to the pick'em?
Nope. Let's hit it.
Do it. All right.
All right. Thank you for everyone who's joined the AU Wishbone pick'em. We're patrons. We're having a lot of fun. The leader at this point is WDE Richie, last page champion in his title, who's amazing. He's 40-2.
That is why are you not in Vegas numbers right there?
First week, he got 14 out of 14. Second week, 14 out of 14. Third week, 12 out of 14.
Oh, my gosh.
Pretty good.
I got 12, I think, this week and 10. So I'm at 22. Yeah. We'll never know what I could have done if I hadn't had COVID and missed that 1 week. Oh, well.
But he's doing great.
That's incredible.
3 people tied at 38, a couple games behind him. Cato the Barner, Auburn Blue, and William WDE, and we're excited about all of them. A couple other fun team names. The Jackson Arnold 5. Picks made under duress.
Boris's team. Boris is in there somewhere.
Boris's team. Falk around and find out. Like that. John Mateer's picks, which is a reference to the gambling allegation against the Oklahoma quarterback. That's funny.
I never did get the whole story on that, but honestly, that's fine.
It's all good. The Big Little Train.
Okay. Nice.
So enjoying that. Bye Bo. So there's some good team names in there. Keep entering your picks now for Saturday and compete against Van and I and Boris.
Is my team's name? Am I the North End Zone Video Board or something like that?
Jordan Hare North Video Board. Yes, that's Van.
Okay. Every time I see that, I think that's the name of our league, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, that's the name of my team. Okay, so that's so confusing. It's so confusing. But all right, that was my own fault. Only book update. And by the way, yeah, if you guys want to play, again, there's only been 3 weeks gone by. Go to www.auwishbone.com, sign up to become a patron, and get in on the fun because there's a whole season left to go, and you'll probably beat me. Quick book update. Again, there's only one person left who paid for a signed book for the new. All they did was win. So Bob Lanford. Paging Bob Lanford. Give us an email, contact, and we'll get your book to you. But everybody else has got them now, and I haven't heard anything bad. I'm always like, what if somebody doesn't like it? What if they, they feel like they didn't get their value or whatever? But everybody seems happy, and I've, people were posting pictures of them and everything, so I'm glad. All right, let's go ahead and thank the patrons that keep this show on the air. As I always say, patrons get to do a lot of fun stuff with us, and we really appreciate you guys so much. But the other thing about the patrons is this is one of the few, I don't know of any sports podcasts I listen to that don't have tons of ads. We do not have ads. Our show starts, we do our thing, Boris does his thing, and then we end, and that's it. You have no ads to deal with. You never have to fast forward. Some people fast forward through this section. Others say this is the best part of the show, so don't fast forward through it, right? Which is a sad commentary on you and me, but a great commentary on our patrons, again, because they're very clever and fun. So, yeah, if you want to be part of the fun and also keep commercials free, keep commercial free our program, that's terrible grammar, keep our program commercial free, go to www.auwishbone.com. It's hard sometimes to tell these people that come in and say, hey, we'd like to put your show on our network, and I'm like, oh, great. Do we have to have ads? Well, of course. Yeah, we're not interested. And they're like, seriously? I'm like, yeah, we don't want ads. No, just say no, because one of our commitments is that our patrons support the show, and in exchange, we don't do ads. Some shows like have ad-free versions for the patrons, and then the non-patrons get an ad version. I ain't got time for all that, man. Come on. I got a job and a life and books to write, and I ain't got time for all that. So we're all one thing. It's like Abraham Lincoln said, we either all one thing or all the other. And that's it. Everybody gets it.
Amen.
Here are the folks who are doing their share of the load. They include the great, awesome Samuel Salvatore, who always reminds us, and it's certainly true about Norman, Oklahoma this week.
Tonight's forecast, a freeze is coming.
With pearl white snow. And then we have Logan Chilton, who reminds us that what do you sacrifice to be an Auburn fan?
So what do I sacrifice?
Yeah, what do you sacrifice?
Everything.
Oh, it's so true. Sometimes it's more true than others. Ben Spooner, my bad, Ben. Ben Spooner reminds us that if Oklahoma were to win, it would be
Blasphemy.
That's right. Carl Von Drunker, Chris and Clinton Stewart, Jackson Arnold battle the Bears. Nice trophy, J.A. Earl Ricks, Phil Amthor, and, this is what South Alabama fans were saying the other day.
No, I'm devastated. And they're celebrating right in front of me. This is the worst. No.
All right. Richard Stevens, who's always fun to see his tweets from the press box. Steve Trawick, Ann Pridgeon, Shane Bailey, Susan Trawick, Willie Carden. I didn't read ahead, so Willie Carden, good old Willie. Matt Flowers, Win from Norman is looking forward to seeing y'all at Bisonwiches for pregame karaoke Friday night. 100%, except we're not going to be there. But other than that, for sure. Gary Grant, a.k.a. AU fan at KSC, and Auburn Intramural Rec League football champion winter quarter 1987. I was not there that quarter. William Morgan, Bradley Blackman, Trombone Tiger, Eric Morgan, Michael Kirshner, who I think is currently leading the fantasy Formula One. We'll get to that in a minute. If Carroll Shelby could see South Alabama fans, he would say,
I don't speak Italian, but he ain't happy.
Amen. David, WDE Salmons Esquire, Harry Zager, G Money. I'm just going with G Money. I like it. G $. Chris Thrash, Rich Reimer, Steve Harlan, Wes Atkinson, Dan Thompson. A few more patrons, then back to the authorities. We need to get T-shirts that say the authorities or something. I don't know. Something like that.
A 31 and a 32.
I like it. We just got to fight over. And Boris is like, well, I'm a 31. Which one of you is 2? Which one is 3? I don't know. Figure it out. We're talking about getting Boris a new jersey that actually fits him a little better, because the one he has now was Mira's when she was little. And you can see if you're watching on YouTube, it's a little big for him, especially that one paw kind of hanging down there. So he's got his helmet on tonight. But anyway, thinking about getting him a new a new jersey. So if we can find one small enough, I mean, big and fierce enough. All right. Catherine England, no one fights like Gaston. War Eagle always. Amen to that. Jacob and Robin Fleming, Mickey B. And then there is the
tonight's forecast. A freeze is coming.
That's our Portals theme. I bet that's going to get us a copyright strike on YouTube. I didn't even think about it. Theodore Geary, Winston Body, defending fantasy F1 drivers manufacturers champion Lane Middleton, Brandon Smith, Daniel Odom, at least in Russia, and
sorry to all our Russian listeners.
I know. Van and John, you did it again. We cannot hear a show for your stupid copyrights. Russia, number one. Iran, number one. Bama, number one. All right, there we go. Hope I didn't hurt the record that time. Sometimes it just happens. Theodore Geary, Winston Body, did mention Lane Middleton. Anyway, I've lost track. Brandon Smith, Daniel Odom, Rhodesian Mudflap, H-Town Danny, WDE Richie, Week 2, 2025 football champion. Well, there's no doubt about that. Yo, VIP, let's kick it. Ice, ice, baby, too cold, too cold. Okay, can't argue with that. Ben Bloodworth, of course, our football players don't wear glasses. It's a contact sport. Algo, Rhythm and Blues, plus internet slow. Rusty Owens, In-Home Hugh, Luther, and Kelly Ottaway. What do you call? This is a new one. What do you call a medieval spy? Surveillance. Yeah, I said new. I didn't say good. Okay. Todd loves telling Bama fans that Freeze now has more championships during his tenure than Saban did, because you know what? That's
a pretty bold statement.
But you know what else?
I mean, it's factual.
It is at least recognized. Woody the Jag, the official 2024 Bowl Mania champion. I think Boris was 2022. Chad McDowell, Auburn football's Elvis, Wade Ward, Reynolds Wolf, Jeff Hunter, Timothy, Russell Milling, Randall Walker, David Simpson, Josh Teal, Tony Perry, Rob Morgan, Patrick Williams says the AU Wishbone, well, it simply is.
Whether you like it or not, learn to love it, because it's the best thing going today.
Woo! Construction Tiger, Papa Todd, Cato the Barner, Stephen Houston, Kevin Mahan, Blake Heron, Sarah Hines, Sasquatch, the reigning basketball bracket champion. You know, John, I just learned today that Sasquatch is also. One day we're going to finish that sentence. Tim Pittman, our very own Boris the Tiger. What? Charles Mooney, I injured myself listening to radio frequencies and it still hurts. Wow. Yep. David D, Auburn Blue, Dr. Crackham. The order is a little funny tonight, and I don't understand why, but that's okay. Melissa Blackstone, Philip Martin, Wardam SEC champions. I probably did something wrong, and it's all out of the wrong order. But anyway, Walt is still trying to cool off from Saturday's heat and thankful for no more September Day home games. Amen to that. Antoine Morris, ABB, Wiggeber, 2005 Auburn University Intramural Horseshoes champion. Just put your resume in here. I like it. Tyler Ward, the 2025 War Ready bracket champion. I'm telling you, this is like becoming LinkedIn now or something. Mark Squire, Joey Miller, Alex Nguyen. Alex been with us a long time too. Kenneth Brent Raines, the barbecue.
You have failed me for the last time. AKA
Auburnette for life. Actually, I think the barbecue's been pretty good this year. It tasted good and it's been pretty accurate so far.
Agree.
So, we'll get to Florida. We got things to say about Florida. John Stubbs, Clay Henson, Justin Bean, James Taylor, and finally Ruth and Darren Sutherland, Stephen Thompson, Ben Amos, Spanky, Being at the bottom of this list is like the 11 a.m. You know what it is. The
11 a.m. Jefferson Pilot time slot of death.
Indeed. Chris Como, Darren Pyle, David Smiley, Trevor Johnson, Royce Alvarez, college equestrian expert Auburn Elvis. I've got the order of these all mixed up, and I don't know why. AU falling up, John Atsuki, Paul Bankson, Russell Souther, MVP captivating Kathy Bright.
Your love of the halfling's leaf has clearly slowed your mind.
Ben Regas, Bobby Polite, Elizabeth Donald, I'll buy this for $1, Rich Hammett, Chris Braun, Alex Brown's insert name here, bottom text, the Slinko family, Daniel Witten, Tim Saul, Jim McCrory. After Trump jailed him, Elon Musk escaped from alligator Alcatraz, but was eaten. See you later, Elongator. That's like an entire short story in one name there. It's really cool. New York Tigers, Steve Bailey, CT Tiger, Jim Myers, Trey Jackson, David Garner, Peter Wang, Willie Moe, and Chris. Plus our one-time and anonymous donors. We must have some new ones or something, because there were names there I did not recognize, unless I just did something wrong. Maybe I was reading from the Babylon 5 show. Who knows? But in any case, we love all of y'all. www.auwishbone.com. We guess the game is on hiatus. Worst coaches in the world is on hiatus. I do want to give a Fantasy Formula One update really quickly and just point out Michael Kirshner continues to dominate. He's got like a 400 point lead now over my second place team. Lane Middleton is in third with non-offensive name 2025. That's really funny if you understand how this thing works. Formula One will actually say they have to check every name to make sure it's non-offensive. So I guess defensive. Mandy Thompson's Auburn out is fourth. Eric Morgan's Mississippi Racing 2 and fifth. Brett Wiggins Team Racing in sixth. My other team is in seventh. John Stubbs, Pearl's Pit Crew in 8. Lane Middleton's other team, Flavio, is Sketchy 9. And Formula MK, Michael Kirshner's other team, in 10th. So it's just been kind of the same top three, Kirshner, me, and Lane Middleton all season long. We'll see how it shakes out. There's still plenty of races to go. I think where are they going to be this coming weekend? I can't remember.
Not sure.
Yeah, somewhere in Europe probably. We still got Baku coming up, and that's my favorite race of the year when they go around the castle. Mm-hmm. It's so much fun. It looks like they're on a sidewalk going around the castle. It's so much fun. All right. It is time.
Thank you. Order. Questions to the Prime Minister.
It's time for listener questions. Dun, 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 on the AU Wishbone Podcast.
And that's nothing but pure and simple old-fashioned communism.
What is in the mailbag this week, Jonathan?
Our first email is from friend of the podcast, Jared. It is week 3 haiku.
Oh, here we go.
Bows. Shamison plays. Offense looks solid. Defense is cause of concern. Nervous for next game. Bows. Shamison fades out.
Yeah. Well, I think we've documented pretty definitively tonight why he's accurate to feel that way. So we'll see.
Good. Got his finger on the pulse as usual. Our next question is, to the point, from our friend Samuel Salvatore, who says, yes. Hello, guys at War Eagle. Do you guys think we are ready for SEC play?
Oh, that's the question. I mean, I'd like to think so, but I look at the world through Boris-colored glasses. So
I do think, Baylor is not a world beater, but I think their offense is legitimately good.
Yes.
And it's a road game that we had to go win on the road, right? Mm-hmm. Against a team that's going to finish with a winning record, something we had done in a long time. So I think that matters. I think the experience of going on the road and playing in front of a crowd matters. And the pressure of kind of being in a game against a team with a good offense in their stadium matters. Like, we knew we had to go out and execute and make plays, and we did it. So I think that part matters. I think we're as ready as we can be. Now we just got to go do it,
That's it. I think we're going into this game as ready as we can. Like you said, the players are coming back that are going to be healthy, or at least healthy enough to play. The only question is just going to be, can they execute? And we'll see.
I think in all 3 games, there was things we needed to clean up that we saw. I think that is actually better for us than if we, beat these teams all by 20 and there was nothing to clean up. Like that's not what we need. We need to correct things and get better and refine things heading into Oklahoma. And I think that it does matter.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The next email is from frequent emailer Bill Miner, and then the subject line is geographically correct SEC. He says, "Hey guys, as many would likely say or question, is Oklahoma really in the Southeast? I always poke fun at the smart ones in the Big Ten who haven't been able to count since Penn State joined nearly 30 years ago to make more than 10 teams. Well, couldn't we say something along the lines of our conference name makes more sense? Not to mention the ACC has teams that don't even touch the Atlantic Ocean in some capacity. That said, if you had a clean slate with 16 teams to fill a newer SEC, which teams would you put in a geographically correct Southeastern Conference? Would we say Kentucky and Missouri are in? Is North Carolina in the Southeast? I'd say definitely. Everyone's definition of the South is different, and I'm curious to hear yours, Bill.
So how many teams do we need in this hypothetical accurate? 16, but it's the SEC?
But will we decide what the SEC is?
Well, I mean, no. Missouri's out, much as it sucks for me. Kentucky is out. If you were on the other side in the Civil War, you can't suddenly join the SEC. I'm sorry. Honestly, I'm throwing out Kentucky and Missouri, and I'm gonna bring in Virginia Tech. I'm gonna throw out Texas A&M, Oklahoma, and I'm gonna bring in Clemson, North Carolina,
and NC State, Duke, maybe. Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State's got to come in.
Miami.
No. There's a point in Florida where you're no longer in the Southeast, even though you're in the Southeast, and Miami is beyond that point.
And Florida State is north of Gainesville.
Yeah. Arkansas is like
we went to Arkansas. That's in the freaking Southeast.
It is. It is.
Like it's come on. That's up the road from Mississippi and Memphis. That's
true.
Southeast.
Yeah, so, yeah. I mean, honestly, I let Vandy go be in the Big Ten or something if they want to be, or the faux Ivy League. That gives me one more spot. I want Southern Miss. I want them to be a power again. I like Southern Miss.
One of our listeners online just said Georgia Tech.
Yeah, when you pull the ripcord yourself and jump out the window, it's hard for me to have sympathy to bring you back in. They had their chance. Florida State had a chance to be in. They said
no.
They said we're too good for you, which really translated as you're too good for us. We're scared. We'd rather dominate the ACC.
Again, if we're going to pick old teams that used to be in the conference a million years ago, Tulane.
I'd rather have Southern Miss than Tulane.
Southern Miss has been bad recently, Van.
I know it, but I want them back. Let's put it this way: Tulane is actually.
I'm going to say this: it would drive the Ole Miss Mississippi State fans crazy. That'd be funny.
Oh, it would. Yeah. Well, I like the idea of the state of Mississippi having 3 good programs, because that state's not big enough for 3 good programs, and so it hurts all 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It makes all 3 mediocre rather than 1 or 2 of them being really good and 1 being bad. I figure the better Southern Miss is, the more it hurts Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and I'm in favor of that. But I was just going to say Tulane, I respect what they've done. They have, Tulane, they have their tradition is 70 years ago. And yet, except for that 1 year with Tommy Bowden, and yet they've got the most ridiculous uniform I've ever seen, short of Maryland
I love it. I love the Angry Wave.
It's like they're North Carolina and North Texas at the same time. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's like two teams collided and their uniforms got swapped.
I mean, if you went into Virginia and you pick teams, James Madison, I mean, that's a school that's on the way up. I'm going to tell you that.
I don't want them. Really? Why is that?
In 5 years, they're going to be the best football team in this state, and the other ones are never going to catch up.
How? This is news. Tell us.
Money, organization, willpower, like they
really
got it. Yeah, but yeah, they're going to blow by UVA and Tech and keep going.
Wow. This is John is breaking news
I'm not breaking news. Some other people think this too, but I
just never heard it. So this is fascinating to me.
I just
James
think
Madison.
I mean, again, Indiana took James Madison's coach and James Madison's players and went to the playoff last year.
Yeah.
Like if they had stayed, James Madison would have been the group of 5 team in the playoff.
That's
and
crazy.
I think they're one of the leading contenders to be in it. Anyhow, I think we've answered the question.
I think we have. Moving along.
It was a good question. Okay. Finally. Email from Walt Austin. And the subject line is comfort for Van on running back checkdowns.
Here we go. All right. Let's do it.
Says, hey guys, first time I've written in other than just my Patreon name. But I needed more space this week to address Van's concerns with checkdowns to the running back. I'm sure John heard Justin Ferguson talk about one particular play that I believe Van was tweeting about on Saturday, but there was a 3rd and 9 where Arnold passed up a wide open check down to Cobb in order to throw to Singleton for the first down. The key that hit me on that play was when Ferguson spoke up, it was this. How many times have we been mad when a quarterback throws a key pass short of the sticks and the play comes up short of the first down? That play was one where Arnold saw he had a probable first down to Cobb on the catch or run, but a definite first down to Singleton on the catch alone. I'll take that decision-making every day. So far, I've been impressed with Jackson Arnold's decisions. Okay. And I also figure that given what Baylor was giving us and what we faced in Ball State and South Alabama, we still haven't seen the full depth of the passing game. We throw maybe 1 to 2 deep shots per game so far, and we've shown very little tempo since the Baylor game because we haven't needed it. I think the checkdowns will be coming more often against the better defenses when Arnold feels the need to get the ball out of his hands quicker, and he did throw that one later in the game on Saturday. Here's to hoping for a big win in Norman this weekend. Yours, Walt Austin.
Thank you, Walt. No, that's good. I just want to say it's not so much that he didn't throw to the running back. It's that he never even looks at them. That drives me crazy. I guess he knows they're there. He has a sense of it. It's on his radar, and that's fine. But it just gives the appearance to me. I'm like, at least look over there. At least glance. Even like a little pump fake would maybe draw the defense something. But he locks on the down the field throw, and Cobb could be doing some jumping jacks, and he's just oblivious. And maybe he's got really good peripheral vision. I don't know. I guess you'd have to. But that's what it is to me. It's that he doesn't even seem to be cognizant of the fact that there's somebody over there. Does he know there's 11 players on the field and not 10?
I think it's a good question, and I think we'll see. I think Walt's email makes a good point especially about the tempo, where we showed that early in the Baylor game, and we haven't gone back to it yet because we haven't needed to. We've gone the opposite of tempo, but we may do more of that in this game. We may come out and really try and keep them off balance on defense, and part of the dump off may be part of that.
Well, I don't know what we're saving. It may be like Gus saving that big surprise play on 2nd and 1 that we waited 8 years for. I don't know. Yeah, 8 years. Wow. Still waiting. It's going to happen at Florida State, though, this year, John. It's going to happen.
When he pays it off, it's going to be epic.
Oh, my gosh. It's just going to be epic. All right. What else is in the mailbag?
That's it. It's time for Round the SEC.
All right. Well, let's take a trip around the SEC. This is when the time of the year when this segment is hopping. So let me hit a few highlights for you. Oklahoma beat Temple 42-3. We don't really know how great Temple is. The weird thing is, was that game played at Temple?
Yes, at Philadelphia.
All right. Oklahoma, you may beat us by 100 on Saturday for all we know, but we didn't go to Temple to play a football game.
It's truth.
Nor will we. You need to get right with God, Oklahoma. Alabama 38, Wisconsin 14. I feel like that game was not as close as that. Alabama seemed to pretty much have it in control, didn't they?
Wisconsin's terrible and played their second-string quarterback. So,
all right. Missouri 52, Louisiana Lafayette 10. I feel like Missouri is sneaky better than we were thinking they would be.
Well, I'm going to say the theme of this week's around the SEC is these teams on our schedule are looking freaking good. And Missouri's one of them. They look dangerous to me.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, at least it's in Auburn. Yeah, Oklahoma, Alabama, Missouri, and Georgia are all on our schedule, and they scored 42, 38, 52, and 44.
Well, you left off Vanderbilt, too.
Oh, we haven't even gotten to them yet. Where are they on here? They're down the bottom. We'll get to them. I did love the SEC roll call today where they kept hearing the boat horn, and South Carolina was having like PTSD because of the boat horn. That was so good. He's like, you need to switch out the chips in the chip machine for like heart medication and stuff, anxiety pills. Georgia 44, Tennessee 41. What else does Tennessee have to do, John?
They clearly need to like kill a chicken and spread blood around the stadium because they're cursed. I mean, well, yeah, I'm going to tell you, you asked what they want to do. I'm going to tell you what they need to do. You want to win the game? Win the game. They were tied. They had the ball. They were moving down the field, and they got so scared and so conservative and played for that long field goal. That kicker was scared to death. Also, Georgia was 100% playing the run. They could have popped something and gotten down to the 10-yard line or whatever, or scored a touchdown, I think, on the last drive. But they were too conservative. They weren't going to take any chances. And Georgia took chances, went in there, attacked, and beat them. Like Tennessee's offense was rolling up and down the field the first quarter. They were torching Georgia.
Yes, they were.
And Georgia kept coming back and kept coming back. I mean, you know, Tennessee had a chance to win this game, but they didn't seize the moment. They kind of got conservative and scared at the end.
This was a long game, too. I left. Mira and I had to go up to Peoria to help my older daughter, Maddie, move to a new house. And we left Peoria in the second half of that game, and I had it playing in the car on the way home. We got from Peoria to outside St. Louis, and that game was still going on.
It was a very long game.
Crazy. It was neat. It made the trip home go by fast because I was just listening to the game the whole way home. And I just made a note. I had a hard time deciding who to root for because I hate Georgia. I wanted Tennessee to beat them. But I'm like, do I want Georgia to come into our game in a couple of weeks mad because they lost to Tennessee and they're more desperate? Or do I want them having a whole lot of confidence because they went into Neyland and beat Tennessee? I mean, it's kind of like which is worse. I don't know.
I mean, that young quarterback went into Tennessee and made some freaking throws. That guy was impressive. Yeah. I'm going to tell you this, though. I've heard this on their podcast, and it is absolutely the truth. They kept the training wheels on him. People aren't talking about this. People didn't see it. He had 2 throws between the hash marks. Everything else, all the way against the sideline. He didn't throw the ball in the middle of the field at all, and they got away with it. Other teams are going to play them. When they come to Auburn, we're going to overplay that. We're like, okay, great. Take your shots in the middle of the field. Let's see what happens. And they weren't letting him do that. But they didn't need to. He was good enough.
Have you heard the new Texas Fight song?
No.
They won 27-10. But if you think Auburn people are kind of disgruntled that we only beat South Alabama 31-15, they beat UTEP 27-10.
There were some boos in that stadium.
Yeah, it's not looking great for old Arch.
He's got that Warby Parker commercial, so he's probably okay.
Wow. Andy Staples said, imagine if Texas had Oklahoma's schedule. And that's a good point. Because we talked about that weeks ago.
They got the easy draw. Texas did.
They did. Oklahoma got a brutal draw, and it's going to get brutal Saturday starting out. Mississippi State 63-0 Alcorn State. Now, on the one hand, it is Alcorn State, but on the other hand, it's Mississippi State.
They're getting together.
You know what? The only thing that surprises me there is that we're not playing Mississippi State now.
You got that right. Well, we'll play next year.
Am I lying?
We'll be playing it next year.
Oh, we will. We'll be playing them next year once they really get their act together.
I was going to say, Steve McNair's not walking through that door.
No, Steve. That's one of those that I can't ever find. I don't know. Oh, I moved it around. Yeah. I mean, I can tell you.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
But I don't. If I find it, I'll let you know. I don't know what happened to it. I mean, you know what I haven't played in a very long time, though, that the listeners are demanding?
Smoke weed every day.
That's very well what may come from Saturday. We'll see. Yeah, that one disappeared off the soundboard, I guess, because I've still got playoffs. I've still got You Cannot Be Serious, but I think it's
Larry Bird is not walking through that door.
Yeah, we haven't used that one in so
Kevin
long.
McCabe is not walking through that door. Robert Parrish is not walking through that door.
There we go. There you go, John. Good job. Ole Miss 41, Arkansas 35. And Arkansas was driving for the game-winning touchdown, and we're in the red zone and threw an interception at the end.
Yeah, but also a road game in Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Ole Miss's starting quarterback was hurt, basically didn't play. They played their backup, who had played a little bit the week before against Kentucky, who transferred up from Division II, Trinidad Chambliss, who sounds like a utility infielder, and he was great. I mean, he had like 400 yards passing in this game. They rolled up down the field against Arkansas. So,
quarterback controversy in Oxford. A&M explodes for 41 points in South Bend and takes down the 0-2 Irish. I just don't even know what to think.
Well, I mean, a lot of Notre Dame's good players graduated after last year with the NFL, so their defense isn't as good as it was last year. And B, they've lost to two good teams. I think A&M and Miami are both legitimate top 20 teams.
At least.
And the other part is this, again, we talked about our schedule being scary. A&M has a freaking passing game. They got a quarterback and they got a couple of receivers that went into South Bend and rolled up and down the field and had put up big numbers on Notre Dame. And that part scared me because I thought before this weekend, I was looking at it kind of like, okay, maybe Oklahoma's really good. We could go, maybe A&M's the team we could beat. And then they went and did this. And I'm like, well.
Yeah, no, I know. I feel like the Auburn-Oklahoma game got bigger when Georgia and A&M both won big games Saturday.
Agree.
Because it's a more winnable game than A&M or Georgia. That doesn't mean we could go lose by 30 to Oklahoma and then beat freaking Georgia. You never know. But I'm just saying from right now, that's how it looks.
I still think A&M is the most winnable. Right now, before the season, I would have said a different thing, but I think A&M is the most winnable of those three. But I think we can go into Oklahoma and win just because I think we've improved, and I think they're not quite as improved as people think. So
LSU 20-10 over Florida. As the SEC shorts put it, they're just throwing the ball to them, just pelting them with the ball, giving it away.
Okay, first of all, the barbecue does not lie. Van Plexico on this here podcast predicted 6-6 for Florida. There it is. I see it. He said, I went back and listened to the barbecue episode to confirm this. Van predicted 6-6 for Florida.
I may have overrated him.
Well, the other part is Napier is the offensive coordinator. He's the one calling the plays when they're running the ball well. It's a low-score defensive game, and they threw the ball like 50 times and threw 5 interceptions. It was just stupid.
It's the Curly Hallman effect.
It is. But on the other side, LSU's defense is legitimately good, I think.
Yeah. Which is weird because it was the other way around
for
the last couple of years. And they've they're like we used to be, right? Where we would have a really good offense and a bad defense, then we'd fix the defense and the offense would get bad. And you're just like, can we do both at the same time, guys? Just once, just one time. So, in fact, I saw Notre Dame, LSU, Notre Dame, Brian Kelly being interviewed after that game, and the reporter said, what can you do to put together a better offense to go along with your defense? And he says, we may not. He said, this may just be a team that has to win with defense. And, whatever. And I'm just thinking, 2 years ago, you were scoring 50 points a game and losing 51-50. It's just bizarre how that happens. So crazy. So,
and they got a good quarterback. So.
Yeah. All right. Kentucky beat Eastern Michigan. Who cares? Vanderbilt beat South Carolina 30. It's not just that Vandy went into the chicken coop and won. It's they won going away. And I know Lenora Sellers was hurt, but as Andy Staples was pointing out, they would have lost anyway. They weren't going to.
That's right. Lenora Sellers doesn't play defense, so
that's exactly 31-7 to Vanderbilt. Man, now
we talked in the barbecue episode that South Carolina may be a little overrated, and that they were the darling that of the people thinking they were in the playoff last year and stuff, and they were coming back to earth. But Vanderbilt going in there to take care of business is a serious sign that Vanderbilt is a real team.
And we don't play South Carolina; we play at Vanderbilt.
That's right. That's going to be a game.
I have moved the Pavia DEFCON to Condition 1. Repeat, Pavia Condition 1. We have moved to Pavia Condition 1. Please stand by for further instructions. This is not a test. Boop. Old Dominion, John. I had to put this one in here because I needed your take on it. Take a deep breath. I know you got family connections. You got a blood interest. I know, and that's why I'm asking you. How does Old Dominion, best known for their freight lines, go into Hokieville and ring up 45 points on the Purple Turkeys? It was 31-0 Old Dominion in the third quarter. 31-0.
Remember last week, Vanderbilt went in there and Virginia Tech was winning in the first half. And the second half, Vanderbilt outscored them like 30-0
Yes.
And then in this game, Old Dominion came out and outscored them 31-0. So that's it was literally like a 61-0 series of halves. The wheels have completely fallen off the bus van, and
axles have fallen off.
The axles fall out, the engine's fallen out, the windows have fallen out, the steering wheel fell off and flew out the window. So they already fired the coach, Brent Pry. They fired him.
Wow.
He's done.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, when did they fire him?
They fired him, Sunday afternoon.
Before the season started. Look, we know this isn't going to go well. We're going to go ahead and fire you now.
If they could have fired him at halftime, they'd have fired him at halftime.
Wow.
If this was a road game, they'd have left him on the tarmac.
This is almost like this is worse than the Jack. This is like the Lane Kiffin. This is worse than the Jack Crow at Arkansas.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh my gosh, those are my two favorites. Lane Kiffin left on the tarmac, and Jack Crow fired after the first game again at Arkansas.
Here's my short term thing. I think Pry was a good hire in the sense of if the system had stayed the way it was 10 years ago, right?
Okay. Yeah.
He came in focused on building relationships with high schools in Virginia and getting the high school recruiting back to where it was. And then the world changed. We had transfer portal and NIL. I also think he came out and hired two coordinators, neither one of which had ever been a coordinator before. He had never been a head coach before. He didn't have a bunch of veteran head coaches on his team, and they made a bunch of, kind of rookie dumb mistakes in that way. I think that was part of it. So, do you know who the interim coach is?
No, I didn't even know they'd fired him. So this is all news to me.
The field marshal.
Oh, Montgomery.
Montgomery is the interim coach.
Awesome. I thought you were going to say John L. Smith because I thought like that was his job is to go around and that was something real quick that I think it was either Andy Staples or the other guys, the national guys, were saying that they should just make LSU former coach football Orgeron. They should just make interim coach for the country. Whenever a team fires their coach, he gets to come in and just finish the season. There's always the understanding that he will not be retained, but he gets to come in and finish the season. They're like, how many teams? Who would say no, right? Who would turn that down?
Smashes a whiteboard, rips his shirt off. He's like, run through a wall. Let's go.
Pounds 8 Red Bulls and runs out on the field and his heart explodes. Yeah, I mean, heck yeah, that's a show. So I really like that a lot. Okay, the last thing I was going to mention, and we can talk about what's coming up real quick and we'll wrap up, is Tulane beat Duke and beat them pretty soundly. Duke's a pretty good program these days for that level, kind of the group of 5, whatever. This is the same Tulane that beat South Alabama by 1 point last week. So I just say this to give more evidence that South Alabama is better than you think. Yeah. And playing them within 3 scores is not a horrible thing. Okay. No. Coming up Saturday, what do we got to look forward to?
All right. Arkansas at Memphis, which is, we've said is a little bit allowable because it's Memphis. It's on the border of Arkansas.
I'm going to allow it, to quote the teacher on Community. Right. I'll allow it.
It's noon Eastern on ABC, and then UAB at Tennessee is 12:45 on SEC Network.
Okay, Tennessee gets a nice dose of Blazer to wash away the bad taste. That's good.
That game's going to be 70-0. The aforementioned Tulane at Ole Miss, 3:30 on ESPN.
Tasty burger. Mm-hmm. That is a tasty burger right there. I'll be watching that. Yeah. Well, I'll be flipping over. It's at the same time as our game, so never mind. But yeah,
you'll watch the highlights later. Northern Illinois at Mississippi State, 4:15 on SEC Network. South Carolina at Missouri. This game looked better a couple weeks ago.
It looked good a couple weeks ago. I'm afraid now this is going to be 45-10 Mizzou. Ooh,
I don't know what Sellers' health is. And then Florida at Miami, 7 p.m. on ABC.
That could also get ugly. I mean,
I think Miami's legitimately pretty good.
Yeah, I think Florida will hang around for 2 quarters, and in the third quarter, it's going to suddenly be like 35-10.
They can go in there, slop it around again, make a bunch of dumb penalties, and turn the ball over a few times. So, the big picture of the SEC schedule is this is a light week because next week is a big time heavyweight week.
Well, I'm going to say our game is probably the biggest SEC game, isn't it, this week?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, which is not always the case. So I enjoy it.
Enjoy the spotlight, and then for the couple non-conference games, I always try to pick games that do not conflict with the Auburn game. There's a couple of noon games. Keep an eye on. SMU at TCU is at noon on ESPN2. That'll be a shootout-y kind of fun game. Get to see Rhett again. And then Texas Tech at Utah, noon on Fox. Again, it's a noon Eastern time kickoff for a game taking place in the Mountain Time Zone.
So 10 a.m. basically.
10 a.m. local time.
Wow.
And then the Big Ten is making Michigan State play a game that starts at, I think, 10 p.m. local time in the Central Time Zone.
Oh, that's right. They're doing the Cal type thing. Yeah.
So
we've been there and done that, John.
I know. But Texas Tech, Utah, noon. I think this would be a good game. Texas Tech's, spend all that money on players. People think they're good. Yes. Utah is actually good.
Right.
Utah got that quarterback, Devin Dampier, that we played last year at New Mexico. That was pretty good. He's at Utah now. Right. He's legitimately dangerous. So fun.
Utah is one of those teams that kind of goes under the radar, but they've been good for about a decade now.
Oh yeah,
at least.
They're solid.
It used to be BYU was the strong team out there, but Utah has kind of stolen a little bit of their thunder over the other side of the state or the other side of the valley, I guess. Yeah. All right. I would say, is there anything else? But we're a good hour and a half in right now, so I think we should wrap it up. But I think this was an action-packed show.
We have completed the action packing.
We have. We have done our duty for this week. So John and I are going to follow the news and the events this week, keep an eye on things, get fired up, get ready. I'm planning on rolling out the Blackstone on Saturday morning, grilling up a bunch of chicken and peppers and veggies and stuff for a giant nacho bar.
I like it. I like where your head is at. Nacho man. You make the big hat.
Oh, might do it. Hot off the grill, nacho fixins right there, man. It's gonna be a good day.
I like it.
Right. So I guess all that remains is to say is our time is up. We thank you for yours. War Eagle, John.
War Eagle, Van.